Hello everyone, Lord Baldrith here with Asclepius and special guest Sir Stile Teckel on Echoes from the Caverns podcast dated August 1st, 2014. Echoes from the Caverns is distributed by Sir Stile Teckel and is a joint podcast created and ran by Lord Baldrith and Asclepius. Background music is by Stephen J. Goldman. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks. Lord Baldrith, how are you?
Good. Another great week, huh?
Oh, this was awesome this week. And an awesome news release. There's so much in it.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy the PvP?
Oh, it was fun. The new combat system is just so much more fun than anything we've had so far.
I agree. It was a very good time.
For sure.
By the YouTube Sir Stile.
And just working through the Release 8 perspectives, I noticed first off that we had a perspective from Star, which was really good. Yeah. And Chris just put one out, which is good. There was no royal perspective this week on Release 8. It may be explained by the fact that our Liege Lord is more concerned with his own latest release.
Yeah, that's exciting news too.
Oh, it sure is. That lovely thread in the forum this week, I noticed it garnered 75 responses straight away, so that illustrates the esteem with which he is held. But if there's anybody out there who hasn't heard the news yet, Richard and Letitia Garrett were just blessed with a little baby boy, and they've called him Ronan Phi Garrett Decayed. And Dame Laurie cheekily pointed out that his initials are RPG. So there's a nice little role-playing game that'll keep them busy for a long time.
Oh, sure.
So we'd just like to join everybody and wish Lord and Lady British, or Richard and Letitia Garrett in real life, our very best and the warmest congratulations and a lifetime of happiness with that little man.
Yeah, indeed. Congratulations.
Big congratulations to you, sir.
Terrific.
And that's a good name, too. I like the name Ronan. That's great.
It's a terrific name. Yes.
Yeah. Definitely something that's going to keep anyone busy.
That is for sure. Once you have kids, your life changes forever.
Yeah, right.
Definitely.
Good.
Okay, all right. In the news this week, firstly from Darkstar. I loved what he said in his initial paragraphs. He says, "Wasn't all combat. The community continues to amaze us with what they're doing with our tools even this early. The plays in Pax Lair, the welcoming quest, the ever more insane maze building." It goes on and on. "I continue to be amazed and humbled by this great community. We cannot wait to give you more, so keep coming back each release and help us make the greatest crowd-funded RPG ever." And that's a pretty awesome statement, I think.
Yeah, it is.
And I definitely... Go ahead, Lord Baldrith.
Oh, I was just saying, I think he considered PvP a very big success, which is really awesome to see for the community.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think they definitely had a little bit of nervousness going on with that and how it was going to be received. And I think while there has been some negative feedback, I think overall people were very happy. I think that had to make them feel good.
I think it was a lot of fun for everybody. And although, as Chris acknowledges in his release, it certainly wasn't balanced. They haven't finished it yet. It was a fascinating article. I mean, a wall of text from Chris, as usual. And if you get the chance to read it, please do. But as he says, there's so much work you can put into this, and numbers alone just aren't going to fix it. They're just going to have to keep playing with it, knowing that they'll probably get it wrong initially, but knowing that we can help them point out where it's wrong and where they're going.
Right.
So
yeah, going to be a big challenge for them, but I'm sure they'll make it work.
Oh, I think they will. They're going to give it their absolute best shot.
Yep.
I think that was the key thing for me with the combat system in this release was you could really tell how much potential it has ahead of it.
Right. Yeah, especially once you get the combos and adding the reagents and all these fun things. That's going to make it all funner.
Absolutely. And working out what type of deck you want to build and what type of skills you're going to use. And it's only going to get more involved and more complex. As Darkstar said, the combat skills are going to be fleshed out. We're going to see Ardoris in the next episode. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah. And overworld animating avatars on the overworld map. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that will be.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully start with beards here pretty soon too.
Beards would be good. Yep.
Maybe.
And if I can have my avatar looking a little bit grey, that'll be great.
Yeah. Yep. Nice and gray. Yep. You can make a little inset now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Some of the facial features.
Excellent. And for those who get lost easily, there'll be a mini-map, and that'll be awesome.
Great, won't it?
Yes.
What I like about the mini-map is the fact that they indicated you would be opening it as a item from your backpack. I thought that was intriguing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like that approach.
I like
Yes.
that too.
Yeah.
So you'll see your little avatar picking up a map, or
I'm not really sure how the animation is going to work on that, but it was indicated that the map would actually be an item in your backpack that you would open for that region. My interpretation is they're going to have different maps for different areas, and you actually go into your inventory and take out the maps. I think it's a pretty cool approach.
Yeah, neat.
It could be. It'd be lovely to see it.
Yeah.
Remember in Ultima 7, you had a sextant in your backpack?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime you wanted to know where you were, just open your backpack, click on the sextant, and there you were.
Yep. Yeah, Ultima Online had a sextant too. It's really great for your boat rides and stuff.
Wonderful. Yep. Oh, and from Chris Spears' report, he said that the more important number for this release is 11,045. That's the number of PvP kills. So over 11,000 avatars died on the weekend.
Nice.
That's a big time slaughter there.
I reckon. So I think we can safely say that a lot of people had a lot of fun this weekend.
Definitely.
It was great.
Yeah, I'm happy about it.
And then they moved on to the player-hosted PvP tournaments. Now, they were fun.
Yeah. Did you see the videos on those?
I didn't see the videos, no.
They were
I
good.
missed them. I actually got to take part in the Vengeance tournament. I made up the numbers. I sort of didn't come second or third, but I made up the numbers and it was a lot of fun.
That's great.
And
I missed the tournament, but I did stop by the boat in the area a couple of times and sparred with the people there a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, I missed the tournament myself, but I was happy that there were some good recordings of it.
Oh, it's excellent that they do that.
Oh,
And we should probably give a shout out to the winners. The 1 versus 1 winner was Shimano. Runner-up was Lorimus. And the 2 versus 2 winners, Net and Soledad. The runners-up were Balak Dekani and John Connor. And then in the free-for-all, with the last man standing, the winner was Espada, with Lorimus as the runner-up. And that can be seen on YouTube.
yeah, that's
Excellent.
cool. Mm. Yeah, Espanada, he's a really good fighter.
Oh, yes.
Dog how fast he took that guy down. That's amazing. Dark Alley, I'll tell you.
Oh, boy. Well, a little bit later on in the post, they made a reference to paraphrase the lyrics from the old Jim Croce song. You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind. You don't pull the mask off that old Lone Ranger. and you don't mess around with a Sparta.
That's good.
So, cheers to Sparta for winning that, and also the Bear Tavern Brawl.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
That was a huge event as well.
Yeah, good job, everybody.
Oh, I managed to catch the first part of the Bear Tavern Brawl. It was a bit late at night in my part of the world, but standing there watching it. And I jumped in at the last minute because there was a no-show on the first round, and I was really proud of myself. I lasted 10 seconds.
Good. All right.
Yeah, I really wanted to catch that, but wasn't able to make it. But looking forward to watching the video.
That'll be good. And the people who took the honour and glory for that were Espada, who came first, Davin Rock, and Violation Vengeance. So cheers to those brave warriors.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, congratulations.
Excellent.
Looks
And
like, did you see the Lord Marshal throne thing?
yeah, that looks awesome, doesn't it?
Beautiful.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I like it a lot better than the other thrones I've seen. That's really cool. Elegant.
That's an elegant piece of furniture.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Gorgeous.
wonder if they're going to get two of those, one for each side of the table.
Yeah.
Huh? Nice.
I'm sure it'll definitely be a sought-after commodity.
You know what? We might get to. Look how there's one for benefactor, one for founder there.
Ah,
Pillow styles there. Yeah.
that would be great.
I like the red. Yeah.
Yeah. And you notice that Lord British and Darkstar are going to have their own custom-made outfits in game.
Those concept drawings are fantastic. I love them.
Look at that sword. That sword of Lord British is beautiful.
Yeah.
Stephen did a really good job on both those drawings.
Yes.
Certainly did. Wow.
Almost looks like a photo. That's a really good likeness.
It is.
Now there's a lot of similarities, at least to my eye, for Lord British's outfit and the actual Renaissance tunic and trouser and so forth that Richard Garriott is fond of wearing in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he probably had a lot of input into the design of it.
Either that or maybe Stephen took a photo of his outfit and then used that as a baseline.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, his real life one does not have, the shoulder pauldrons with the ankhs on them, and the boots don't have the serpent symbol and so forth. But the overall tunic shape and design, and he does wear a black leather pant with a tall black leather boot. So it's very similar.
Oh yeah.
Looks lovely.
Beautiful.
He'll be easily recognisable when we see him in game.
And he'll probably have a crown on too, right?
Well, I'd say so. Yep.
I've seen him with a crown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the orb Darkstar has too. That's pretty neat.
The orb is a very nice touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
nice.
really nice.
Looks pretty mean there, doesn't he?
He does. I wonder if that's the orb of chaos.
It must be.
Yeah. Sweet.
Ink made look like that. Yeah, ink made. Yeah.
And then another lovely story, Through the Lunar Rift by Fire Lotus.
Good series you got going there.
Yeah. And
Oh,
then
a new cloak, huh? Blade
Yeah.
of the Out. Oh, isn't that nice?
that is lovely.
Love the design on that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I read through the Blade of the Avatar again this week.
Nice.
Oh, it's a wonderful story. It really is.
I just wish it was longer.
Oh, so do I.
It was.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But
It
I
ends
know
it ends all too quickly.
it does.
Yeah. I really
But
like it.
It does say book 1.
True.
So there could be a book 2.
Maybe 5, you think, for each episode?
Yeah. Yep. And it was great watching the map at the same time, because now that the map pieces have been released, you look at the map and the towns, and, oh, that's where they're talking about. Yeah, I think I'm getting to understand the continent of Novia now.
Yeah. That's important. We're going to be traveling there a lot.
Yeah. Yep. So there we go. So that's the big news for the week.
All good news. I hope the stretch goals are still moving and grooving. We'll see those met at one time or another.
Oh, that'd be lovely. Yeah.
I haven't looked at the numbers lately.
Yeah, I think they're climbing slowly, but it's going to take a long time because they're pretty high totals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
The horses are still on top at 79.40.
Yeah. Oh, good. Good.
What are each of yours? Out of all of them, if you had to choose one, what would each of you choose?
I'd go for the horse. I'd go for the pack horse. Pack animals,
Okay.
they're lovely. And I really want to sail my boat around.
Yep.
Well, Lord Baldrith, which would your first choice be?
My first choice would be boats.
Okay.
Love boat, followed by pack horses. Love
Excellent.
pack. I know boats is a pretty rough one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll take a lot to get there.
That's a lot of work though for them to create that whole thing with boats. So.
Definitely.
But I've always loved boats in games. It's actually not a very often feature. It's a very nice option for our game.
Definitely.
Oh, it would. Yes. Yep.
As a good fisherman, I like boats. Treasure hunting's good on boats too.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if they introduced fishing rods, fishing lines, and you could sit on the back of your boat and just drop a line in,
Yeah.
catch a fish, cook it on the cooking station?
I think it'd almost be a given, since we are going to have fishing, that if they made the boat stretch goal to combine that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm pushing for ice fishing, so I've got that. I love different kinds of fishing, all kinds of different options, and gathering and crafting. It's fun to me.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to give that a try too.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well.
Covers all the updates.
Yep. So maybe it's time to ask a few questions of our special guest. So, Sir Stile,
Shoot.
I wonder if you could tell us what was it that attracted you to Shroud of the Avatar?
Wow, that's a heavy question. I mean, you have stages of attraction to the game, really. Initially, it would have been purely Richard Garriott. I grew up being an Ultima player, both single player. Ultima 3 was the first computer game I had ever played on a computer. I played it shortly after it was released, and that led into wanting to play other computer games, learning how to use hardware, and all that good stuff that goes along with it to maintain the hobby. I'd been a role player previous to doing that in pen and paper, but then also Ultima Online was probably a good 7 years of my life. I was a very heavy player, good 40 hours a week when I could, and was very successful in terms of meeting my in-game goals, and loved it a lot. And it's just nothing's really ever filled that game niche since then. You have as Richard likes to call them, the cookie cutter MMOs. The WoW. That's just changed a little bit and put out with some different flavor to it, but really at the core it's the same game. And I haven't been able to find a sandbox MMO with all the features and things that you could do that Ultima Online offered. The crafting and PvP and house ownership and decorating, and the list just goes on and on and on. And so I gave up UO because my daughter was born 13 years ago, just about this August actually. Will be 13 years. And when she was born, I said, well, I need to spend less time gaming and be a good father. So I gave up Ultima Online and it was several years until I really was even worried about gaming again. But then once I couldn't find anything. So I kept an eye on Richard Garriott, because in my mind, if anyone was going to make a good online game again, it would be Richard Garriott. Now that's not to say I didn't keep an eye elsewhere, but that was definitely one of my focuses. So as a consequence of that, I was kind of a Richard Garriott stalker. You know, I'm watching videos about him going into space, and you know, the lawsuit that he participated in, and you know, all the different things that took place in his life. Kind of follow him, got to know a lot about him. And for a while there, he had a game. Portalarium had a game called Ultimate Garage Sale Collector. And definitely not my type of game. Facebook game. And you know what, I said, well, it's Richard Garriott, it's his company, and you know what, they're talking about that this might be the foundation, or you know, one of the aspects of their next MMO game. So I want to help out. So I played that heavily and tested that, provided feedback, and the whole time he kept talking about this ultimate RPG. I'm going to make this ultimate RPG. And the one thing that I was a little worried about is there's also always this mention of mobile. And I'm thinking, yeah, I like a mobile game as much as the next guy, but you're awful limited what you can do with them still in terms of technology. And so when you had the big thing go out on the internet with the countdown timer saying Richard Garriott presents, I was glued to it, and I was there the second that countdown timer hit 0, figuring that it had something to do with Ultimate RPG, and wanting to see what would happen. And as soon as I saw what he was doing, I jumped over and pledged. So that was really my first, the first attraction to Shroud of the Avatar for me. But since then, there have been several more, even throughout the Kickstarter campaign. When I initially pledged, it was at a very low level. Because I wanted to see what he had in mind before I was going to put a lot of money into the game. I thought whatever he would do would be successful, but is it going to be the type of game I want to play? So as the Kickstarter went on, different information was talked about, and my pledge levels started going up, and just different things have attracted me to it since then. The community doing stuff like this show, just it's a long list. And you could go back to any particular day and just add something else to that list.
Oh, that's awesome. I think we can all agree that the community is awesome, and this game looks as if it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I think it's going to have the best of the Ultima series and Ultima Online.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. And new innovation.
Yes.
Yep.
And new ideas. I think it's going to be... It's going to be fantastic, and like you said, the community never ceases to amaze me. The community is really something.
Yeah, they're very brilliant. They come up with some really good ideas for a game.
A lot of talent, in the community.
Yeah.
And now, other games. What other games have you played, and what would you say would be your favourite?
Oh wow, that's tough.
Sorry.
That's boy, you don't pull any punches. You come out with some hard questions. Honestly, when it comes to gaming, my primary genre or type of game that I've done the most of would really be pen and paper roleplay. Whether it be your more traditional, stereotypical Dungeons and Dragons, but also beyond that, I've played, I would say, probably hundreds of game systems. Just about everything White Wolf has published. Just about everything Steve Jackson's has published. GURPS, Green Ronin. I mean, I run a game club for about, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and 15 years in my area. I'm friends with all the owners of the local game stores, and so I recruited through them. Had their support. I recruited through the colleges and different internet groups and all sorts of things. And I had players. I'd come in, and then as we'd start to lose players, I'd bring more in. And over the years, I probably had somewhere between 100 and 200 people in my game group. And at one time, we were playing quite heavily. We would have a game session running every Friday night, run by one GM, alternate Friday night by a different GM with a different system, and then the same thing on Saturdays. So every month we literally had 4 different GMs running 4 different systems, and I did that for several years. So I burned through just about every pen and paper role-play system out there. So that would be my biggest love of games. There's a lot of downsides to pen and paper. It takes a lot of preparation. It takes a good GM. You have to worry about group dynamics. You have to worry about group think. You have to worry about bringing in new people moving away. So there's a lot of complications with it. And after 10-15 years of hosting, I decided to I've had enough. So I've been a little bit more focused on video games. I also like card games. I was a very avid Magic the Gathering player and collector. Many other CCGs, board games, all the way from some of your early classics like Titan and Talisman to some of the more modern stuff that's real popular like Descent. That's the one I was trying to think of. But video games, talking MMOs, I've played a few, but I have a hard time defining it as play, because usually it would be more like install the game, hop in, and I think Richard's talked about a lot of this too. You spend a lot of time making your character because you're not sure how long you're going to play the game, and you want your character to be right. Then you get into the game and you play for a little while and go, wow, I don't like this. And I've done a lot of that. I did pre-order World of Warcraft. Actually, the collector's edition, which seeing that a collector's edition box sells for about $3,000 now, that's kind of painful because I let it go for about $60.
Wow.
But I played it for about 6 months, and I had a good time with it. World of Warcraft, for what it is very well done. But ultimately, just going out and grinding for gear and raiding gets old, and so it didn't hold my interest long. So there's kind of a long gap in there in video gaming over the last 10 years where I haven't had a lot of satisfaction. There have been some single-player games that appealed to me a lot. Dragon Age Origins was good. And I even like, the occasional shooter, SSX skateboarding on, like the PS3 and Xbox 360. I played Lord of the Rings for 2 years, Lord of the Rings Online. That was kind of something I settled on. It was I need a good online game, something I can spend a lot of time on, really sink my teeth into. And I played it for about 2 years, and honestly, when the Kickstarter for Shroud of the Avatar came out, that was kind of when I stopped playing that. I gave it up for a little while I was doing web page work and design and so forth, and getting to know the community, and I thought, well, I can jump on occasionally. And they came out with the Helm's Deep expansion, and with the new expansion and the complete skill change to the game, it lost my interest completely, so my accounts just sit now unplayed. Favorite game? If I had to call one game my favorite game, and I think you probably meant more video gaming, but if I had to define one game period as my favorite gaming, it'd be Titan. It's a board game made by a company called Avalon Hill. It's no longer in print. It was briefly reprinted a few years ago by a company called, I want to say, and I could have this wrong, Valley Press, but it went back out of print again. And I just love it. As a board game goes, it's my favorite, and I probably enjoy playing that more than any other game, whether it be pen and paper, card, video, what have you. If you're going to talk specifically video game, I would probably have to say Ultima Online holds that title, but these days I wouldn't be able to get into it any longer.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry for the long answer, but it's a tough question. Very tough question.
We appreciate it.
Very interesting.
I mean, part of it, I really have a very, very extensive gaming history. I was introduced to pen and paper role-play games when I was probably only about 7 or 8 years old. My mom took me over to the local game store after sitting me down and say, okay, we're going to let you try this out, but you have to behave. I got a nice long lecture about proper etiquette and behaving, and how this was going to work, or I wasn't going to be allowed to go. And I was like, oh yeah, and I went and I behaved, and it was very cool. I actually grew up playing with the people that, if you're familiar with Dr. Cat, I grew up with the people that Dr. Cat grew up gaming with. Of course, for me, they were a generation older. Dr. Cat has a generation or two on me. But basically, his gaming buddies when he was a kid became my math tutors, babysitters, and in one case, even my first roommate when I moved out of my mom's house as a young adult.
Well, it still survives. Both of my boys love gaming, love computer gaming, and the older one also is into pen and paper. And he has
awesome.
a bunch of friends that gather around regular intervals on a Wednesday night, for instance, and they get down to their D&D sessions, and they still love it.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah. I think it has a timeless appeal.
Yeah.
Pen and paper offers something that you're not going to get from anything else in terms of enjoyment and what you can do with it. But it does also offer some other difficulties that you don't have with online video gaming.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Well, as you say, there's a lot of work involved for the person setting the quest and the dungeon master, planning out the adventure, making sure that it's all right. So yeah, downsides and upsides, but it's great. Yeah. Okay.
Sadly, I'm still watching. I kind of started collecting D&D 3.5 books, and I still, even though I haven't really done any pen and paper gaming in about 2 years now, every once in a while I'm still grabbing one off of eBay when I come across one I'm missing at a really good price. It's getting harder and harder because there's only probably about 10 books that I don't have.
Really?
Thousands and thousands of dollars worth of books in the basement I'm not using, and I still pick them up on occasion just because it's one of those, the collection's so close to being a complete thing. But at the same time, I don't know, I could sell the collection and not be bothered by it, so it's kind of weird.
Sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, it looks great on the shelf, though, huh?
It does. I have floor-to-ceiling shelving all along the walls, and it's getting really tough to squeeze books in.
Wow.
That's awesome. Okay. Now, sir, your website, the Caverns, Dungeons and Beyond. How long has that been running now?
It's been live since day number 1 of Kickstarter. The day Kickstarter went up, I put a website up. Now, that being said, it wasn't a very pretty website. I had some framework up there. I had some articles on there, and really I'd planned on doing a website a year or two before then. Kind of going back to watching Richard Garriott and waiting for his next game. I said to myself, well, when Richard puts out a game, I want to be involved, and one of the appeals to waiting for that was knowing that I would have the opportunity to get in on a game in the early stages rather than 2 years after it came out. And I wanted to get to know people in the community, and I thought, well, I'm going to want a website, I'm going to be able to blog, that sort of thing. So I started saving articles about Ultimate Collector and Richard Garriott and the different talks he was having, and videos, and everything, probably a good year to 2 years prior to the Kickstarter. So when the Kickstarter came out, I started putting up a website with frames and started linking articles and so forth. It was very basic. I was using some older HTML code, and since then I've just been improving it as my web development skills lose some of the old rust from them, and I've become a little bit more familiar with more modern day tools, and just taking it a step at a time. It's definitely surpassed anything I ever anticipated. I thought I was just gonna have a website where I was doing a little bit of blogging, and it's went way beyond that. So it's really fantastic.
Yeah. And it's beautiful now. All the updates look great.
I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, I'll agree with that. It's an awesome website.
It was a really tough decision when I rethemed the website. The previous theme that I was using was actually a theme from 2008 that I found out on the internet. And of course, with a theme being 5-6 years old, it needed a lot of recoding to work. And I hate to admit it, but I probably had, somewhere between 500 and 1,000 hours of recoding that theme.
Wow.
And it worked, but it was, some people were having troubles with some of the coloring and reading it and some of the layout, and so eventually I had to make that hard choice, saying, okay, I need to retheme this. I need to let it go. It's a sunk cost. Just let it go. But it was tough with all the time I had into it.
It was worth it though. We love looking at it nowadays. It's gorgeous.
Well, talking about the website, the greatest thing that's happened with me for that was the community helping me move to a virtual private server for the hosting. Normally I pick up the cost for all that type of stuff myself. It's my hobby. I enjoy doing it. I figure it's something I should pay for. But I spent some money on a new computer, and then Murphy's Law, I got hit with a bunch of unexpected bills. And then it's like, boy, I really need to move to VPS, and I just can't afford to do it. And I put up a fundraiser, and it was extremely touching, very heartfelt, that the community helped hit that fundraiser goal to allow me to move over to VPS. It's one of the most touching things that have happened to me from the community. It blew me away. That hey, everyone appreciates this enough that they contributed that much money to keep it running in the manner it should be run.
Well, that's awesome. And I think there's a couple of things you can say from that, Sir Stile. That obviously the community appreciates what you're doing. That in itself indicates that it's an awesome website and you're giving a really good service. And the second thing is, it's a great community.
Yeah, definitely. That's the community never ceases to amaze me. It really doesn't.
A lot of generous people in the community. It's awesome.
Very. I know a lot of things that other people in the community, some people have done behind the scenes. Of course, I can't say names or what have you, but things that some people have done for other people that it's just like, wow. There's no hidden agenda there. They don't want it to be known that what they did or who they did it for or anything like that. But there's some people that have done some pretty amazing things just to be nice and for no other reason.
Yep, I've seen it too. I get amazed every time I see it too. I love it.
Yeah.
And they are really the kind of people you want to be sharing an online game with.
Exactly.
Sure.
That's awesome.
Nice people to hang around, good friends to make.
Yeah.
It's all good.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a passionate player and you put a lot of time into it, and if you're someone that plays 10 to 40 hours a week, it's those are the kind of people you want to be spending your time with.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, going back a few weeks in the news releases, I think I remember a lovely little article, I think it was by Dame Laurie, who mentioned that she'd pledged for the game and, put the money out and whatever. Even if the game fell over and wasn't ever released, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Because she's had such a wonderful time and had so many wonderful experiences, met the team and engaged with the community, and essentially saying the community had been such a wonderful experience, she's already got her money's worth.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that is an awesome testimony.
I met her at the Hobloth in Indianapolis at Rustic Dragons, and we talked about that quite a lot over the night, just about that topic. Both her and I were talking about that. But beyond that, the thing that I love to hear her say, because she said it so well, and I had never really found a way to say it as eloquently as she did, was that when you're doing these projects like she has been and like I have been, you even forget that there's a game at the end of it all, because you're spending all this time doing these web pages and these articles and new projects and blogging and reading the forums, and you forget there's even a game there, because it becomes a hobby in itself without the game.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that she said that I really liked, because it's definitely how I felt too.
Yeah.
What are we going to do once the game starts? Have so much fun right now.
I worry about that. I get a lot of flack from people. Well, you're always working on all these projects. You're always working on these projects, and some of it's you're doing these things that aren't going to matter until the game's out anyway. And it's like that's exactly why I'm trying to do them now. is because I got a long list of projects. I have some ideas I haven't even shared with the community yet. I got a couple of project ideas. I don't even know if I want to do them. I need to research them and determine if they're things that I can set up myself and make them so they're easily maintained, or if they take a lot of maintenance work, in which case I'm going to put them out there for someone else to do that wants to do them. And my goal is I want that list cleared off before episode 1 releases, because when episode 1 releases, I want to be in a maintenance pattern to where all I'm doing is posting a few new news pieces every day, and the rest of my time is spent in game.
Fair enough. Yeah. And
I have a certain amount of time in my mind that I'm willing to spend on projects outside of the game per evening and per weekend, and whatever I have to do to make that happen, wherever I have to trim back or cut back, I will. But I think I can continue with all the things I'm doing now once I get, I guess you could say, caught up, get that list cleared off.
Yeah. And speaking for myself, I mean, I can endorse everything you're saying, because having become involved with this news group, which you guys have invited me into, this is awesome, and the New Britannia Theatre group, even before the game's anywhere near released, I'm having a ball.
Yeah, it's great,
and it's fantastic.
Yeah, it really is.
You guys are an excellent group of people to work with too. I'm having more fun than I've ever had in my life.
Oh, that's awesome to hear.
That's wonderful.
Asclepius, I don't know if I ever told you, but I really had to kind of twist Lord Baldrith's arm a little bit, not a lot, but I had to twist it a little bit to get him to start doing podcasts.
Well, I'm sure glad you did.
Yeah.
Because they're awesome.
He was pretty self-conscious and shy about it at first, and I kept saying, "No, you need to do this. Let's air this." And
I think we all are. I was a bit nervous when I started off, but you jump in the water and you find, you sort of can swim after all.
Well, you two are definitely fantastic. As a news team, you two complement each other really well. I mean, you two together are great. The show's good, and it's just going to get better every week.
We're doing our best on it, and we're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun talking to you. You just crack me up a lot, and you always have such good things to say. It's just, how could it be any fun? It's awesome.
It is just wonderful working with you guys. It's awesome.
Yeah, I almost feel like you're a professional. You just have such a tempo going, and your whole rhythm of things always, to me, it just seems like it's so great.
Very relaxed. Very relaxed.
Well, I don't know about that, but we do our best, and that's what counts.
Right.
It's fun.
It's all in good fun, though.
So Lord Baldrith, Asclepius asked me a couple of questions, but you haven't shot one at me.
Well, he was asking some really good questions, but I could ask you a question. I know you're way into Lord of the Rings, which I also played quite a number of years. Just wondering what your favorite character was in that game.
Well, I'll be honest. It would depend. My favorite character, if it was really based on my play style, and if I was doing something else in the game, that would probably change very quickly. But I was really fond of the Hunter, and the reason I was very fond of the Hunter is I was a really good raid leader in Lord of the Rings Online. I raided all the time, and I took just random people. It didn't have to be kinship raids, and I was successful with it, and I built up a reputation as someone that got it done. And what I liked about the Hunter is I feel that the Hunter makes a very good raid leader, because you have a lot less going on with your character, with your stats, and with your skills than a lot of the other classes do, which allows you to spend more time paying attention to what everyone else is doing and combat tactics, so that you can shout out, you need to do this, we need to take care of this, I need this person to go over here, while you're just mindlessly kind of clicking a couple of different skills. There are times that, with the Hunter, you tactically that you're very important, but they're much, much fewer than some of the other classes.
Okay, yeah. Another question. For Shroud of the Avatar, what kind of character do you plan on playing?
Wow. Everything. I really, honestly, everything probably really is somewhat of a good answer. Although, whether I'll be able to accomplish that, I'll be honest, I'll probably be about a 40-hour-a-week player, and I want to do it all. There's no feature of a game like Shroud of the Avatar that I don't enjoy doing. There's some things I enjoy doing a little bit more than others, but when one thing gets a little stale, then you avoid it for a little while, do some other things, and then eventually you kind of go back to that, and it's fun again. And what's nice is you never lost any time. It's not like going to another game. Whatever you're doing is building your characters and your empire, if you want to call it that, or what have you. But as far as Stile Teckel goes as a character in game, I am leaning towards I'm thinking kind of a hybrid between fighter and mage. But we'll have to see mechanically how well that works and how balanced it is, because ideally what I would like to do that, if I make a hybrid mage / fighter that goes out and loses every fight, then that's not going to be the way I go.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully they'll give us more details on how the combat's going to fish out, once they start mixing and matching skills. I know a lot of people are really against the battle mage. That's something I'd be curious how that all pans out. I've always I've played battle mages in the past, and they're pretty powerful. I like them too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. You get staff in one hand, long sword in the other, kind of Gandalf picturesque style going on there. No pun intended. But mechanically sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It really depends on the game. It is a little stereotypical, and for that reason I tend to be a little shy of it. But the thing is I haven't done that in roleplay in a long time. And being a lifelong pen and paper role player, what I will usually decide to play is what haven't I done in a long time. And I haven't played that style of character either in a video game or in pen and paper in quite a while, and so it sounds very appealing.
Yeah. It all comes down to what's fun for you. Sure.
I enjoy it all, so
yeah.
I'll find if that ends up not being a good option, then I'll probably lean towards magery.
Pure mage.
Pure mage. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
If the hybrid doesn't work out, that'll probably be my second choice.
And the good thing is, it looks as if it'll be all open to us.
Yeah.
We can pursue whichever path we want.
Like Lord Baldrith there, I'll be a very avid crafter also.
Yep.
I do enjoy crafting.
I'm starting to enjoy crafting as well. Mm-hmm. It's great.
I love, like Lord of the Rings is a perfect example. I was running raids all the time, and I love jumping, getting home from work on a Friday night, and yay, it's Friday, and logging on, grabbing, my headset, throwing it on, and, getting 11 people together and going out and tackling some of the toughest raids in the game, and being sociable. And, there's times that I come home from work and it's Tuesday or it's Wednesday, and I have 2 hours or I have 3 hours after taking care of a couple of chores before I need to think about bed, and it's just those might be times that I'm not really in a sociable mood. I don't want to go out in a big raid or with a big group of people. I just want to get in, have a little peace and quiet, be by myself, and just grind a little bit, and that's where crafting really fills a nice niche for me.
Sure. Yeah, crafting's more of a solo activity, but it's definitely nice for a stress relief.
Yeah. I usually watch a lot of TV while I'm crafting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yep.
Hopefully it's not quite that mind-numbing, but again.
Yeah, in previous releases, I enjoyed decorating up my house and crafting quite a bit of furniture and stuff like that. It was really lovely. Of course, this last one, there was so much emphasis on combat, and I think everybody was doing that. I didn't actually do any crafting at all, but that's going to change.
I did do some other things this last release other than PvP, but yeah, I didn't get much crafting done. You talk about furniture. That's one of the things that I'm a little nervous about going into episode 1. Is I'm gonna need so much furniture to furnish my houses and so forth. I'll probably be putting everyone I know that enjoys crafting, like Lord Baldrith, to work for months.
Yep. Well, my first crafting will be carpentry, so.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing the same.
Just for chests, I know I'm going to need chests.
I think crafting will be a very good first crafting choice in game, because you're going to have all the pledge people with houses, plus people that have bought them from the stores and the towns. That I think that carpentry is going to be one of the highest demand crafting skills initially. I think that will change as people start getting their houses full and stuff, but for a while that's going to be highly sought after.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep. And we haven't been seeing alchemy or cooking yet, so maybe sought too.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Now, cooking's what my wife will probably hit real heavy. Actually, alchemy and cooking both. Those are the two that are interesting her.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what alchemy brings.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's so much we haven't seen.
In UO we had 8 potions? It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
8.
I think it was 8. Obviously, with a game like Shroud of the Avatar, and how many recipes they're putting in, and how much thought they're putting into everything, like we've been hearing about on the food and so forth. I'm guessing that there'll be a lot more to alchemy than just creating 8 different potions.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's going to be a lot deeper and more complex than we could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the crafting is unique and it's also just really exciting. Unlike, just buy your new recipes and go. I'd rather have something a little more deep than that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for.
For sure. Yep.
Well,
I think we might have pretty much done the news.
All right.
yeah, we pretty much covered all the topics.
I think
Well,
we have.
I appreciate you both having me on the show. It's definitely been fun to work with both of you outside of the show, and so it's definitely a special treat to get on here with you guys and do a broadcast.
Well, it's a pleasure and an honor to have you on, Sir Stile, and thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for all you do for the community and for us as a crew here. You're really awesome to work with.
Well, I appreciate that because knowing that people appreciate it is what makes it worthwhile to do.
And I'll second that as well.
And I'll just go out with a few details here. Once again, the awesome background music is by Stephen J. Goldman, called Shroud of the Overture Part 1. And also want to thank Amber Rain for broadcasting the newscast on avatarsradio.com. And you can check it out on the Caverns as well. And this is Lord Baldrith and
Asclepius.
And Stile Teckel.
with Echoes from the Caverns.